Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode 59 and Doubleshot number 15. The average is far. Alright, first book is X-Men Legacy, Sins of Father, a Manifest Destiny tie-in. It's an old book, I know that. Written by Mike Carey, obviously. He says in this book in 260, I will get a chance to review Supernova's. When I get a chance, I'll get my hands on Supernova's, Blinded by Light, and Messiah Complex. Those are stuff he writes. This book has issues 213 and 216, plus X-Men, The Unlucky Saga of Xavier, Magneto, and Stan, written by Stan Lee, and X-Men On Man Out. This continues right where the last book leaves off, because it ends basically with Miss Sinister showing up. Yeah, Miss Sinister. Where Mr. Sinister takes over Xavier's mind. Of course, the artwork does change. I don't mind this artwork. This is very similar artwork I've seen on Astonishing X-Men during, well, first page. But pretty much it just, oh yeah, and Sebastian Shaw with Gambit. Gambit is just a supporting character, while Xavier's a star into 225. And of course, this is the book where Cyclops finds out that Xavier's alive. Xavier... Well, it's Cyclops. Basically, all people at this time who knows that Xavier's alive is Gambit, Sebastian Shaw, Sinister, Cyclops, and our Frost. Eventually, the rest of the X-Men do find out that he is alive. And this woman is apparently Sinister's clone. This one right here, apparently she is a clone. I don't know why. The artwork is okay for what it is. I don't mind the flashback artwork. It's actually not that bad. Yeah. And of course, the covers in this book, this goes on to like salvage, where the covers in the book basically look like this. Yeah, this little bracket type thing, basically from Implate all the way up to Avengers vs. X-Men. The style and the covers in the book basically are different. That's all. Just, of course, there's flashbacks of the original X-Men in this book. The whole point of this particular point of the series is basically trying to build Xavier's mind. And of course, Miss Sinister makes her full debut. This is her, what she really looks like. Of course, she later on becomes a brief first villain for X-23, which of course she stopped showing stuff after that. Oh yeah, she also shows up for Original Sin, for the X-Men Original Sin, and excuse me, and that's it. Of course, Xavier goes back to the Xavier suit, which has been destroyed. Rogue, who is drawn very differently than usual. One of her few different outfits over the years. This is basically well, the first couple issues simply just pick up right where the last book left off. This is if I can find a name for this story. I know it's on someplace. You gotta find it. It's probably the end of the story. But it's a long story. Yeah. It just pretty much this book picks up right where the last one was up, just goes up, and then you have a two-part walkthrough. You have Rogue being drawn like this. Of course, it's from the back. Yeah, that's how she's drawn in this book and the follow-up book. She's drawn very weirdly. I don't know why, but she is. This is also the time when Cyclops and Emma Frost finds out that Xavier's alive. Of course, they also kind of found out in the last book. This book confirms it. Now, I have no idea who this character is. I have no earthly idea. I may read tons of comics for X-Men, but I have no idea who that character is. Okay? And of course, Mystique shows up. This, of course, follows what kind of what happens in Messiah Complex, where Mystique is in her mind. Yeah. And, yeah, basically, Emma Frost and Xavier fighting each other, and then the book continues with Original Sin. And there's two one-shots in here. First one in here is Odd Man Out, which takes place during this. Takes place kind of recent, but it kind of fills in the gaps. It takes place during the 70s. Well, actually takes place. When you look at the costumes, it takes place in the 90s, but it's also the final appearance of what's his name? Frederick Duncan. He was the guy basically who was in the first 13 issues of the X-Men series. And this is his return. This is basically an uncollected story for the 90s. It takes place in the 90s. It just kind of it just gives flashbacks over the years. Him working, and of course he's working for Henry Peter Goward, possibly setting up the Operation Zero Tolerance thing. And of course there's a New Mutant story in here, which takes place during the Mutant series. I don't know where it's placed in that one. I have no earthly idea. Probably takes place just before the series ended, probably before Cable shows up. And the final story, just a humorous story of Xavier, of Stan Lee meeting Xavier Magneto. Of course, Magneto in his 90s garb. It's a non-canon humorous story they put in here because of Stan Lee. Just basically does a recap over the years. All in all, 4 out of 5. It's okay. It's a little. The only one I did like was the walkthrough, and that was actually really good when Xavier took on Emma Frost. Okay. Next book is X-Men: Original Sin, which is written by Mike Carey. He does the X-Men Legacy issues, and Daniel Way, who does the issues of Wolverine Origins. And this book collects the Original Sin one-shot, X-Men Legacy 217-218, and Wolverine 28-30. Now, Wolverine Origins 28, this is a flashback of Wolverine over the years. Basically, him meeting his son for the first time, kind of. Well, actually, him meeting him. And then, basically, the book evolves into flashbacks. Basically, there's various different flashbacks. I mean, the first flashback that's seen in here is from Wolverine Volume 3, the 55, when he kills Sabretooth. That's a retcon in Sabretooth Reborn, when Sabretooth that was killed was actually a clone. And then it flashes back to his very first appearance from the three-parter of Incredible Hulk number 180 through 182. And this takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pages. 10 pages takes up. And then next flashback is from Giant Size X number 1, which is kind of chronologically takes place before. From this point forward, basically Wolverine's point of view, prior to X-Men Legacy, Giant Size X number 1, which takes up takes up the final 3 pages of the book. But it's really good issue. I recommend it. Wolverine Origins is a fantastic series. I love this series when the series is published. Of course, the series is no longer published. And of course, you got the Original Sin one shot. Oh yes, I almost forgot. The cover. This cover is a homage to Uncanny X-Men number 100. This cover has been frequently reused over the years. Stuff like it's been reused for an issue, a later issue of X-Men. It's been used for New Warriors, Defenders, several. Oh yes, Avengers Academy. This is the most frequent reused cover over the years. Of course, you also got Amazing Fantasy 15, which is used kind of on and off again in some other covers. But this cover right here, which is a homage to X-Men 100, this cover has been used so many times over the years you can't even count. Of course, next story is just a flashback to Giant Size X-Men number 1, kind of, and of course, this is also the issue where Wolverine finds out that Xavier's alive. And of course, if you noticed, Cyclops has 3 lines on his shoulder. That's his Manifest Destiny costume. This costume he wears from Manifest Destiny all the way up until Avengers vs. X-Men. After that, he stops wearing his costume, and he wears the Racer X outfit, which nobody likes. Yeah. This is a long book. And of course, Miss Sinister meets Daken. And guess what? She sleeps with him. Yeah, she sleeps with him. Yeah. Yeah. This issue right here is kind of a partial homage to maybe an issue of Wolverine. I'm not really sure. But the next part continues in X-Men Legacy 217. That's part 2. Wolverine Origins 20. That's a prologue. It has, of course, Sebastian is the bad guy of this story. And, of course, the whole point of the story, and this is what I'm talking about, the makeout scene. Yeah, they start sleeping together. Pretty much the whole point of the story is just Doc can get his memories back. And, of course, Wolverine finding out that that Xavier's alive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, she's wearing a skimpy outfit, which she wears frequently. Of course, after that, she appears in X-23 and that she was appear again. Of course, Wolverine is wearing his Manifest Destinies outfit this time. Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. This is also before the Dark Reign story. Yeah, this is for the Dark Reign story. Yeah. I really do love the artwork in here. And of course, Miss Sinister has to wear this very tight bikini. Very slim bikini. Basically, no one really dies in this crossover, no. It just basically, Wolverine finds out Xavier's alive, and of course, it also ties in what's going on in Wolverine Origins, basically figuring out, trying to restore Dawkins' memories. And of course, the Winter Soldier for this one panel. Now, Wolverine does know Winter Soldier, Bucky, he knows him. They're old friends. But, the thing is, basically, walking away, basically, forgiving him, basically what happened before. But this book is really good. I really miss the Wolverine Origins series. I really do. It was a fantastic series. Had 50 issues in an annual. And this is the only book the library has that collects issues for that series. However, the artwork is good. And I love the flashbacks. I can picture exactly where they take place. Like Wolverine 2028 takes place like during the issue where he kills Sabretooth from Wolverine Volume 355. There's a three-parter, his three-part debut, which is from Incredible Hulk number 180 to 182. And then you got Giant X number 1. Then you have some part of the flashback, which is during Giant X, like after Giant X number 1. So as an X-Men fan, yes, I would definitely get this book. If you're a Wolverine fan, definitely. I would not recommend it if you're a Xavier fan, because Xavier's not really popular that much. But all in all, 5 out of 5. A lot better than the last book. Alright? That's it. Stay tuned for my next episode, which is my 60th episode, and my 16th Double Shot. Bye.